Welcome back, Tater Nation. I'm John.
And I'm Zach. Welcome to Whiskey Neck Pour. Today we are going to be reviewing one of the rarest bottles that we have had the opportunity to purchase, and that's going to be the 2020 George T. Stagg.
Guys, I'm beyond excited to get the opportunity to try this bottle. I never thought I'd be able to try it. We refuse here at Whiskey Neck Pour to pay secondary pricing. We don't want to be part of the problem. So we refuse to pay secondary pricing, so we had to do a lot to get this bottle. But I can't explain to you how excited I am to not only share my viewpoints with you guys on this one, but actually to share, with one of my best buddies over here.
Absolutely, yeah. You ready to open it?
I'm completely ready to open it, but are you sure you honestly want to open this bottle?
I'm ready for it, man. I when we bought these, I was buying it with the intention of being able to open it. Hopefully with this channel, so I'm glad we got that chance.
That's kind of the beauty of me and Zach is Zach is a drinker. I'm more of a collector, so I think we balance ourselves out really well here. Me personally, I don't know if I have it in me to open up a bottle of George T. Stagg as a collector. These are kind of the bottles that I want on my allocated wall. I like to show them off, but at the same time, Zach's a drinker, and I think I appreciate that because we're going to do this.
We do have two of them between both of us, so we're gonna get a chance to open one here and probably hang on to the other one. Maybe we'll do another review. Maybe we'll figure something else out for it. But I think for the time being, we're gonna get this one opened up and give it a pour into the barrel here.
It's almost disrespectful to Mr. Stagg to actually pour his juice into our infinity barrel, but this is your bottle. I'm gonna give you the honors here.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see here. Got a little bit of a pull tab on them. Whoop. All right.
There goes the secondary value of that bottle right there, boys and girls.
There it is. Okay.
Interesting that the cork. Interesting that the cork has the Stagg logo in it. So does the seal.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting fact right there. That's really marketing 101 right there. They did a great job of.
All right. Here we go. Let me get this out of here. All right. And in we go.
Well, boys and
That
girls,
was a heavy pour.
That's the neck pour. So we did
There
it.
you go. All right. So we are going to get a little taste here and see what we think.
So as a reminder to everybody, we're going to rate this bottle on a few different factors here. We're going to rate it on presentation, smell, taste, finish, mouthfeel, and the accessibility. Is the hype of the bottle really worth, the allocation of the bottle, is it really worth, paying secondary market for this bottle? So I am going to put my cork on this bottle just to make sure that we get the
little blend tops, yeah.
The full effect of the smell. So...
All right. While that sits, I think we are going to actually go over some of the history about how we got these bottles, and then also a little bit about some of the information that came with the bottles when we got them. So, do you want to talk about how we got them?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, we're based out of Virginia, so we are controlled by the ABC board, and all that means to you guys is, we're not privatized. We are controlled by the state. So, in order to get allocated bottles, we have a lottery system here that happens, once or twice a year. And most of the times what happens is they go online, you put an entry form in, and you hope they call your name. In this case, the ABC decided to switch it up and really make us suffer. And I know Zach's going to go into a little more detail here in a second about that. But essentially what happened was every store got, 27 to 30 bottles.
They got 24 to 30 bottles. Ours had 27.
Ours had 27 bottles located. They weren't all Stagg. They were different couple bottles. But our store had 3 specifically. So we decided to make the ultimate sacrifice. If that's what you want to call it, and we decided to get to the store at 7 o'clock at night in order to be in line for a store that opens up at 10 o'clock in the morning.
On a Saturday. So we got in line at 7 o'clock Friday night. They opened up 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah. And what we're not telling you guys is it was the coldest night in Virginia, and I know to a lot of our viewers, 26 degrees probably isn't that cold. But to me personally, I'm lucky to be alive sharing this experience with you. I thought I was going to freeze to death. And even though I'd love to tell you that I sat in front of my camper chair the entire night with a sleeping bag and made it through the night, I did have to go sit in my car for a little bit. But Zach, I don't believe you ever went to the car.
No, I did not. I sat in that chair from I think. So there was a grocery store that was open until 11 p.m. that night Friday. I went and just sort of used the bathroom right before they closed, sat in that chair from 11 until about 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, and then you know, we sort of got these bottles.
So he was first, I was second, so we did make it first and second in line. We actually had a great group with us. We had, 9 people who spent the night with us?
Yeah, so we got there at 7. The next guy showed up around 8. Probably by 11 o'clock, we had 9 of us total, and there were 9 of us there overnight in the brutal cold. So
this bottle has a lot to live up to, because if it doesn't live up to that, I can gladly tell you I will never spend another night in front of the ABC store.
Yeah, we'll see. A little bit about the bottle itself. So when we got them, we did ask them for the box. So we got the box. This is what it came in. They ship them in 3s, so that was pretty cool. The 3 of us that were in front for the Staggs were actually all together, so it was me and John and then your dad. So the 3 bottles that we got are all in this box, which was pretty cool. And inside of this box, they had this cool letter. This was the front. It's got a nice little presentation. Thank you for purchasing Buffalo Trace, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then the contact info for some of the important people at Buffalo Trace as well. On the back is where the interesting stuff is, where they talk about the year it was distilled. So the spring of 2005, it was released in the fall of 2020. The proof at release is 130.4. They go through a few other things on here about the cooking and the fermentation and the recipe and all that stuff. The part that really was interesting to me is the evaporation loss, which is 59% of the original whiskey was lost to evaporation, which means 41% of this is 41% of this is what got bottled, which is pretty amazing that over half of this stuff got lost due to evaporation. Yeah. So
I think the crazier part of this is I was 6 years old when this bottle went into a barrel. So to think that, it's been sitting there that long in a warehouse is just, it's mind-boggling. And I think that's what makes, George C. Stagg so special. So I think at this point, Zach, what do you think?
You were 6?
I was 6.
You want to be sure about that one?
Maybe 5.
Thinking you were a little older than 6 or 5, John.
What's that?
Yeah, dude. So 2005. That would make you 14.
All right, let's.
It's okay.
Let's completely back it up to that point. All right, ready?
Oh God, I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay.
So I was 15 years old when that was barreled, which is a really cool thing, because at 15 I don't think I was
14, 15 years old, not thinking about bourbon at all. Well, maybe a little bit, but definitely not Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Not to this level. That is definitely for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Zach? Should we get the smell stuff or the smell going on?
Let's give it a shot. We're gonna set that over here to the side. All right. So again, we are gonna review these on a scale of 1 to 10 corks. Presentation, smell, taste, finish, mouthfeel, accessibility. It's all going to play into this.
First impression of the smell. For a 131 proof, absolutely no heat. I am completely blown away that doesn't smell like just ethanol at this point.
It's real dark.
Very dark.
It just, I haven't tried it yet, but it looks very thick compared to a lot of stuff that we've had so far. It's real sweet.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Smell, I'm giving this a solid 8 or 9 on the cork scale. This is just a phenomenal smell, especially for that kind of proof. Typically, when you get that proof level, you smell the ethanol and the alcohol at that point. You smell, it just smells hard. And this does not smell remotely like that. So, first impression, super strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I know on this letter that they provided in the box, the nose, they describe this as cinnamon, caramel, and cherries. I don't think that I get a lot of the cinnamon.
I think I get a little bit of the cherry.
I get some fruit. I don't know about cherries. That's probably something that's a little bit past my palate abilities at this point, but definitely some fruit. It's very sweet.
Yeah. Let's move on to taste. Wow.
For something that's supposed to be 130, well, it is 130.4 proof. It's not that hot. It's definitely hot.
See, I'm going to tell you right now, that brings the Kentucky Bang Bang. That brings the Kentucky Kiss. You know for sure this was aged in Kentucky. You know this has the heat. This is not playing around. You know that somebody knew what they were doing when they distilled this.
You can definitely feel that moving down into your chest. Yeah.
But for the proof and the heat, because I've had a couple of bottles of Jack Daniel, special release rye, and a couple of really high proofs. Mm-hmm. This has a ton of flavor. So first impression, I sincerely taste the cherries in this.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot happening there. There's a lot of different flavors. I get a lot of the sweet notes from that, a lot of the oak as well. The palate notes that they provide are creamy vanilla with a light smoked oak.
I don't know if I'm getting any of those. I don't think I'm getting the vanilla. I don't think I'm getting the lightly smoked oak. I think what I'm getting here is I'm getting heat. I'm getting that Kentucky Bang Bang. I'm getting maybe a little bit of cinnamon if I had to take a guess here. And I am getting some oak, but it's very limited on what I'm getting here. It's just a good blend.
Definitely a lot of heat, a lot of oak are the primary things that are jumping out at me. Cinnamon's a little bit lighter for me. It's not such a primary thing. I don't know that I would have described it as a main tasting note on this. But again, a lot of heat on this.
I don't know if I've ever had a mouthfeel that has been so syrupy is not quite the right word, but it's
real thick.
It's thick. You definitely know that it's here. It's got some heat.
Oh yeah.
Just very unique. I don't think I've ever had a bourbon a whiskey like this.
The finish is definitely long because even after this few sips we've had, I'm still getting it. It's still on my tongue. I can still feel it in the back of my throat and everything. So it's definitely got a very, very long finish. They described it as a coffee finish to it, but I'm definitely getting a lot more of the cherry now.
Getting some dark cherry.
Oh yeah, definitely some more cherry here.
So let's kind of talk about how accessible this bottle is.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean
it's not. Yeah.
On 1 through 10, this is probably a 2 or 3 on the accessibility. It's incredibly hard to get. You're going to have to put in some time, some dedication to find this bottle. Or frankly, if you live in a state that doesn't have an ABC or a state regulated board, you're gonna pay secondary pricing on this bottle, which is, as we shoot, we're roughly $1,200. So they're not going to do this bottle again in 2021. For now.
That's true. Yeah, that's a big thing. This bottle was not released as part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection in 2021. So 2020 was the last year they did this. I think the release, the statement that they made was that it didn't meet their tasting standards. So they decided to hold it back from their BTAC release for this year. But 2020 is pretty solid for me.
So let's move over to it. Is it worth the hype?
Not $1,200 hype. Not waiting at an ABC store overnight hype. It's good. It's very good.
I would agree with you on this one. I don't believe this is worth the hype. It's not worth the $1,200. If I had to rate this through a 1 to 10 cork scale, I'm going to go a solid 6.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a solid 6.
I would probably give this a 7.
Okay.
I think it's very good. It's very solid. The only reason I'm going to give it a 7 is the accessibility really just hammers it down.
Definitely
because
does.
I'm with you. The smell, the taste, the finish, the mouthfeel, all of that's, up there. It's probably somewhere between an 8 or a 9 on the cork scale for me.
Yeah.
The accessibility makes this so hard to find, so hard to get. I don't know that I would. And granted, I'll say this. I'm glad we waited in line overnight for it. And I would absolutely have done this again if presented the opportunity. But I don't think I'll wait in line overnight again for another one.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of those bottles where if you have the opportunity to try it, it's definitely worth trying. I've had a lot of bottles with a lot of high heat, and it's hard to hide that heat, and they've done a phenomenal job kind of blending that down. But at the same time, I'm kind of with you, Zach. I don't know if I would spend 14 hours like we did waiting in line to get a bottle of this.
Yeah,
So,
we were out there for 14, 15 hours.
yeah.
It's good. It's not worth the secondary price. The first try on it is probably worth waiting overnight. I don't think I would do it again, though.
Yeah. Well, I am shocked that we put this in our Infinity barrel. I think we're going to have a lot more good to come.
Everything goes in, right?
Everything goes in. This may be our first, expensive bottle that we put in our Infinity barrel, but it certainly won't be our last. So you make sure you stay tuned to our videos and subscribe to our channel. Leave your comments. Let us know what you're hunting, and let us know what we should put in our Infinity barrel next.
If you have had the opportunity of getting the 2020 George T. Stagg, we would also like to see kind of what your thoughts are on it. If you think it's worth the secondary price, if you think it's worth waiting overnight at a liquor store for, just let us know what you think. And if you have any comments about the video, please let us know.
Tater out.
Tater out.